Okay, look, so here's the truth. You are enough. That's all. But just in case, today is one of those days when you're having a little difficulty remembering that. My name is Annisha, and welcome to the 5 Years to 40 podcast, a community dedicated to helping millennials overcome the fear of getting older. We share information and inspiration to make sure that we all have a fascinating life. We keep our conversations around 4 pillar topics: our health, our finances, our relationships, and our careers. And today we're going to be talking about our relationship with ourselves and others. We're going to be talking about how we can deal with feeling as though we're not enough. If you experience feelings of not enoughness, everyone, let's explore some of the ways that could show up. You might find you have negative self-talk. So in your head, you might make a mistake and you're like, oh my gosh, how could I be so stupid to do that? Or you could have negative beliefs that undermine your sense of safety. You ever caught yourself saying something like, oh, these people don't appreciate me. My mom don't understand me. I'll never lose weight because I can't get to the gym like these other people. And one of the most famous ways that we end up feeling like we're not enough is from corrupt core values. Now, core values is really important. And if you want to go deeper into understanding how core values help you to shape a fascinating life, you absolutely must enroll for the Bay Workshop. That comes on at the end of September. So stay tuned to this page, stay tuned to my Instagram page, and you'll be able to know when you can register for it when enrollment opens. But at the end of September, we're going again into looking at our boundaries, our authenticity, and empowering our lives so that we can truly be fascinating. Now, with all that said, we're going to look at 3 ways that we can help ourselves feel as though we are enough and learn to trust ourselves to know that we are enough. No matter what's going on in external or in our heads, we are in fact enough. Now, the first thing you really must do to feel more as though you are enough is to stop comparison. There's a saying that comparison is a thief of joy, and that is a cliche because it is so accurate. Like, if you take your eyes off of where you are, what you're doing, and you start comparing yourself to other people, it just poisons everything that you're doing, and you can't enjoy any real sense of peace or joy because you're always looking at what the other person is doing and trying to catch up and trying to keep up. And that is what fuels these feelings of not enoughness, because you know, this person has a really great marriage, oh my god, will I ever get married? This person has a really great car, oh my god, will I ever have a car? This person has a really great job, oh my god, will I ever have a great job? And you're forgetting right in front of you, you have wonderful relationships. You have a boyfriend who supports your dreams. You have a girlfriend who makes you feel very secure, who believes in you. You have family members who do the same for you. You have a job that you can go to and not feel as though you want to walk out and scream at the end of the day. So you'll be missing the blessing that you have if you get caught up in comparison. And besides, guys, listen, comparison isn't even real. Like, competition isn't even real. We all come into this world with our own specific skills and abilities, wisdom and talent to do specific things in the world. And your job right now, in this moment, in your millennial life, is to figure out what that is if you haven't figured it out yet. And when you get to figure that out, and when you realize, oh my gosh, this is my zone of genius, you will be able to experience the ability to perfectly express yourself. And I think perfect self-expression is like, oh, it's like a gift from heaven, because you're able to just experience joy in what you're doing and not worry about if somebody sees it or appreciates it, and not even wonder or worry about if somebody pays you for it, because you just get to do the things that you love doing and you're just naturally excellent at it. So I think if there's an assignment I can give from this episode, I would say take some time to figure out what lights you up, what is the thing, what is your genius thing, and pursue that. And when you're doing that, there's nothing like comparison. Like, you don't even care to compare. And of course, when you're not comparing, you know that you are enough. Another way you can feel as though you're enough or experience your enoughness is by being deliberate in creating joy in your life. We live in a world that there's a tendency to get dreary, and there's so much things going on. There's so much really constantly negative news, CNN, or always on things that make you feel, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. There's arguments, there's people protesting rights, and there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with participating in things that you truly believe in. But I found that to balance it off, you must always have a way of deliberately pursuing your joy just as passionately. And some ways you can pursue joy deliberately is, one, you can try journaling. I love to journal. I think it's a great way of expressing, like getting all the thoughts out of my head on paper. And sometimes when I read it over, I'm like, oh, this wasn't so bad, or this is what I needed to do. It leaves a trail of hints for you throughout your life. And if you're like me and you like to journal, check out in the description a link to a great journal. It's on Amazon, so wherever you are looking at this from in the world, you can totally order it and use it. But it's a journal for joy, and you could capture these moments and help yourself to remember that you're okay. The way you can help yourself to be deliberate about inducing joy is to be using affirmations. So you can use affirmations in a number of ways. You can use a quote that you like, you can use scripture, you can use songs, you can use taglines, anything that would help your mind to remember that you are okay. Because when the thoughts in your head starts rising, sometimes it's really hard to control how your thoughts go, but what you can control are your words. And you know what I read from Florence Chauvinchen? The words always win. The words always win. So have some words to defend you when you feel as though sometimes you feel as though I'm not enough. Have an affirmation stuck on your mirror, or a scripture stuck on your mirror to remind yourself that you're wonderfully and fearfully made. You are who God says you are. Have things to reinforce, to fight back when the thoughts and the feelings start rising up, because we know if you have a condition where you sometimes feel like though you're not enough, it comes up in the most weird time. Sometimes you're in the middle of winning, and this you start thinking, oh my gosh, maybe I didn't have to do this, or maybe I should have added more, or maybe I should take away less. And you must have a word to say, I am enough. And the third way you can really help yourself to make sure that you're feeling as though you are enough is to seek professional help. Like, counseling and therapy is a really important thing, and I know in generations past, people tend to have a lot of stigma attached to it. I do not know why. We claim to live in an evolved society, but until the day I see the same amount of pomp and ceremony for the opening of a counseling clinic that is similar to an opening of an upper level bar, like all the invitations and people get excited about going to this new spot, that's when I think we're going to be evolved, because taking care of your mind is so important. And we are the generation, we are millennials, we are the generation to make it easier for other generations to know that it's okay to go to a therapist and get help if you find that you're having difficulty processing things. And so I am daring us to be the ones to step up and say, I go to therapy, I feel better when I do, I'm comfortable recommending it to other people, and this is a practice that helps me to have a fascinating life. I'm saying it. I go to therapy, it helps me, and that's one of the ways that I lead a fascinating life. So I'm encouraging you to be the ones to stop hiding in the dark and crying in the dark and being as though you're big, brave, especially my male fibers. You're big and you're bad, and you're not talking about the things that matter to you, and not talking about the things that are bothering you. You don't have to carry the heavy load. Like, you could find a counselor that you trust. Just find one and talk about the things that's bothering you and get the help you need so you can come out and have a great, fascinating life. Okay, it's much easier on the other side, I promise. Remember, we talked about ending comparison. There's no competition. You are here to do the things that you are here to do, and you will do them well. Just find out what that is, okay? That's your assignment. The other thing is to affirm yourself. Use journaling, use words, have a post-it note stuck on your mirror so you can affirm yourself that I'm wonderfully and fearfully made. I'm God's child. God loves me. And so when you walk out into this world, and when you have the feelings like, oh Lord, I'm not good enough, I shouldn't be in this room, or I shouldn't be in this relationship, or this person really don't like me, or maybe I shouldn't lose this weight, I'll never fix my finances, I'll never be able to be a better person, my life will never be better. Just stop it with a word that says, I am wonderfully and fearfully made. I can do the things that God said I can do. I am a winner. And the final thing is to be sure to seek professional help if you need it. Visit a counselor, visit a licensed therapist, and get the help that you need so that you can move forward into a fascinating life. Be sure to look in the description for the journal, the listen to the journal I left. I will also leave some affirmations in case you need some help getting your affirmation list started. Thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing and sharing out this podcast to other people. I love you for doing the work, and I just want to tell you again, you are enough. You always will be enough. You always are enough, okay? And yeah, that's it, guys. Take good care of yourselves and keep doing the most. Mwah.